Jonathan, you're a madman. In the absolute best sense of the word. I mean, we did already a lap last year, and it was quite phenomenal when it comes to the use of the car and the use of the track. Whereby right now, by the way, at the Circuit Days Dakota UK track day, so it's a bit loud. That's why also the use of seats with ears is allowed, for example. Very good. But it's been a long winter, and I think you've done a couple of mods to the car. So what have you been doing so far?
Yeah, well, when we last met, the car was pretty well stocked, plus some AR1s and some better brake pads, and been trying to learn the ring. I think it's about 6,000 miles last year going around, so that's really just good, and just getting to get the feel of the car. And just been gradually making some changes. So the first thing was getting the brakes done. So we've had some AP brakes made for the car. And
nice.
These are 378mm discs, so the normal ones are about 360. And then we've got the 5,000 Rs, which has gone from a 1-piston caliper up to a 6-piston caliper. And the big thing for me now is because I'm using hand controls, I don't really have to worry about brakes anymore, within reason. It's just so much better.
It's really much better. You can be very confident, be bumper to bumper to GT4s, or in our case GT3s, and have lots of fun. By the way, we're already shooting this intro after our 2 laps.
So the brakes are done. We're using a track wheel, Pro Track 18-inch. And last year we ran Nankang AR1s for most of the year, which were a great tyre. But we thought we'd try something new because the Nankangs were a really noisy tyre on the road.
Yeah.
And so last year Bridgestone Potenza brought out the Race, which is a new model, and we thought we'd give it a go. I think it's got better grip than an AR1. You can use it in the wet, and it's much quieter.
Yeah.
And across here in Germany, they're about €200 and about £190 back in the UK. So same sort of price as an AR1.
Yeah. No, I mean, I gotta say, I really enjoyed it. It has phenomenal grip. I do have to say, it would be interesting to compare this to CRS, because I haven't tried the CRS yet on a hot hatch, but this was already indeed very good.
The CRS and the AO52, which were the other tyres we were looking at, were about €280.
Ah, okay, so that's a big...
Times 4, it's quite a big difference.
Indeed.
And with the laps I'm doing, we're still going to go through these pretty quickly.
Yes.
So that's the braking bit done.
Yeah.
The next thing we did, the car stock is about 290 horsepower, and in fairness, it's probably all you need. But you know, after a year's driving, you want to do something a little bit better, just to help you get up the hill. So we sent it off to Norwich to Courtney Motorsport, and these guys are really well known in the UK for their Hyundai tuning. I didn't want to go mad with the car, but just like a stage 1 tune. Yeah. So we took it up from about 290 to circa 350 horsepower, still running it on 97 fuel. And I think that's made quite a big difference. I think if you didn't know, you'd probably think that's how the car came. So it's a really nice progressive tune, not too aggressive. So that was the tuning bit. And then the major thing was, having lowered the car by 15mm with standard Hyundai springs, we thought we'd just go to the next level, and that was just to try new coilovers on it. Yeah. And KW Club Sport have a setup for the Hyundai i30. So that's what we've tried. So this is 2-way adjustable with the compression, damping, etc. And that was just fitted and ready to test yesterday. So made a couple of tweaks. It doesn't feel hugely better at this point, but what it's allowed me to do is to set the camber at the front, which you couldn't do before because it's got top mounts. And I think now when we just play around with it a little bit, it'll get better.
The turn-in is fantastic. The turn-in, but also the stability. Yep. It allows you to behave with this car as you see them do in either touring car championships or like even WRC, because this is amazing. Like I had to get used to it twice, because first of all, from going to try to do something with hand controls, then to try to get used to the car with traditional controls. And once you realize how the car behaves with the back end, it becomes such a weapon. But then you got behind the wheel and then you blew everything out of the water.
Well, it was great. I don't think the next thing is, as we spoke about in the car, is downforce.
Yeah.
So the splitter at the front is just stock, really. So once you're a bit more front end downforce, back end downforce, And that's maybe a conversation we can have. I need to just refill the bank account a bit after all this sort of stuff, and my wife doesn't know about half of it yet. So, but no, I think that would be something. I try to keep the car reasonably stock. We've actually taken the back seats out of it as well now because they were pointless.
Nice.
But overall, really good car, great fun, and it's just great that again you can try the hand controls, and it's
amazing.
Something. Once you're used to it, it's okay.
It's fantastic. Just one more close-up of the hand controls while we are on the outside before you can watch the lap. So basically, it's one complete system that is connected to the brake pedal and the throttle pedal underneath. Let's see if I can bump up the brightness a bit so you can see it better. So by pushing, you go on the brakes, because also traditionally when you go on the brakes, your body shifts forward, so then you would apply more braking force, and you pull it by accelerating. That allows you to pull it completely towards the steering wheel and keep your hand on the gas and not your foot on the gas. I believe last year also the throttle was not fully engaged or something.
No, funny story around that. My chum has got exactly the same car out here, and we've been out together and had some track fun, but his was always a bit quicker and I couldn't understand it, so we took the car back to Hyundai. They couldn't find a problem with it, and the car's got a computer and it shows you how much the car's producing, but I could only get 230 horsepower and he was getting 280. So I didn't know what to do, to the point of literally selling the car. And then I just had this thought, what if someone had adjusted my steering wheel? So I pulled my the hand control back, which of course pushed the throttle, and I asked somebody else to push the throttle down, and I had that much more movement. So we adjusted the steering column, and suddenly the car was like a different car. It was a flying machine. I could almost feel the tears coming down my face, and do you know what? I absolutely love this car. It's just the sort of thing you drive within 5 minutes. It's a great car.
It's fantastic.
And the fact you can make a few mods on it and have something that you can go out and play with the big boys, it's a really fun car.
Really good.
Yeah, great fun.
Amazing. Thank you so much one more time.
It's a pleasure.
For this lap.
Thanks for the fun.
Let's see you next time when we have more laps. More mods and more laps. But for now, enjoy the laps. It's been absolutely mind-blowing.
Put your elbow on the door.
Okay. On top?
No, bottom bit.
Okay.
Put your thumb back round the rim. That's it. And then just put yours.
This is like learning to drive again.
This is where we need the cameras pointing at your feet, Misha, so everybody believes you're still driving with your hands. But I can vouch your feet are absolutely static there.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you put your elbow on the door, it gives you a frame, and you get more stability. And with your thumb around the rim, you're almost getting 2 hands on the wheel.
Yeah.
And then you just very slightly off it, and now you want to get back on the wheel again, 2 hands on the wheel,
and on
just feel a bit more normal.
One-handed, done.
Yep, and then back off and back steering again.
Well, you are the man, and that's confirmed. So for the sake of safety, I'm gonna transition to the traditional driving again.
No worries. Well, it's a great effort, really good effort.
That's really impressive. That's really impressive.
So since we met last year,
yes,
we had a stock car, well,
and now you change it a bit.
We put some AR1s on it, and we put some better brake pads in it, and it was a really good car to learn the track
as well. AB racing, you said, or?
Yeah, so what we've done, we went through about 5 cents of discs last year, because I just couldn't get it quite right. So we went to AP through Questmead, and they built some brakes for me. So we've gone for the AP 5000R disc.
Very good.
And we've got 6-piston AP 5000R calipers. We're running an RS29 pad.
Oh, my favorite.
And the difficulty we had was getting that disc and caliper set up to work with an 18 and a 19-inch wheel. So we had to choose the right caliper to do it.
Nice.
And it's quite nice. So we finally got the braking set. We then sent the car away to Courtney Motorsport, who are one of the sort of the favourites for high-end tuning in the UK.
Yeah.
John, who runs the business, he's a Vauxhall expert from years gone by, and they do some really lovely tuning. So didn't want to make the car too mad, so we took it up to a stage 1.
Okay.
It's running about 345 horsepower.
Which is a very sweet spot, I would say, from hot hatch perspective.
And it runs on just normal super unleaded, so we're not restricted to the really good stuff.
That's good.
And it's a nice tune. AR1 was the tyre we used most of last year, which was great. Had a few issues with punctures and wear in it, so we're trying a new tyre now, which is came out last year, which is the Bridgestone Potenza Race.
Okay.
So here in Germany, they're about €200 a tyre for a 225 4018, which is about the same as an AR1. I think it's more grip than an AR1.
Yeah.
It's quite nice in the wet.
Try the CRS. It's quite
and it's
good.
not noisy.
Yeah.
And then the last thing we've done to it is we lowered the suspension by -15mm, which I think was a good start.
Okay.
And we've just fitted KW Club Sport.
Nice.
So that's the V3. We've had a setup about 3 degrees in the front, about 2.5 at the back. I'm not sure about it yet. How do you feel? What are your thoughts?
It's good. It doesn't have LSD by any chance.
Yes, it's got electronic LSD.
That's yeah, you can feel it. The grip is very good. The car is really nicely stable. I like it. It just gets a bit. It has a very nice turn in.
When we got the car yesterday, first of all, it was too hard at the back, so the back end was very
Witchy.
Yeah, I do like it quite planted, but it's yeah, it's a really lovely bit of kit now.
Yes.
So I think the next thing for it potentially is a bit of aero, and we were talking earlier on about your new venture and
that would be really cool if we can do something for it.
some of the things that would help. There was a guy I was out with earlier on today who's got one of these, and he has a wing on the back, and he's got about 64 kilograms pushing down at the back, so I think that would help.
We can do the triple. Yeah, once you get the hang of it, with the back end, like wanting to rotate, it becomes a real weapon. It's a really good car, very good setup. Just need to get confident with the fact that the back end moves, but you can use it to your benefit.
Great fun, as the camera will show.
It is
following a fairly well piloted GT3, and here we are in a
hand controlled with the option to be hand controlled ITRN.
Yeah.
very, very, very nice. Amazing work on the setup. I really, really liked it. Like I said, at the beginning, of course, I tried out the manual controls. For the sake of safety, I just like, okay, let's proceed to have some fun with the way of controlling the car that I'm used to. And it was fantastic. Like, then it took me a bit to get used to the way the car handles and also like the dimensions of the car. Hit the car, touched a couple of curbs where I shouldn't have touched. But I love the setup. The setup is so confidence inspiring. I mean, to follow the GT3 towards the end of the lap, that was amazing.
I think the other thing to take into consideration too is you spend most of your time driving on this side of the road, this side, you know, and it's just different to gauge that.
Yeah.
But it's
no, everyone who contributed to the build of this car did a tremendous job. It's really, really well. And yeah, I think, you know what? Let's swap one camera, put it on the front, and maybe you can show me how you do it.
okay.
Because I'm really excited, because people can see how I sucked and then they can see how you can do it properly.
No problem. Lovely.
Another day in the office.
setup here. Last year it was just a little bit short of power, wasn't it?
Yeah, now it's perfect. But I also reminded myself how well you use the track. Like every millimeter. You're so on the edge, like in a very good way. So amazing to see. impressive. Insane.
I think last year I was wearing a full face helmet so you could hide all the facial expressions behind the helmet, so God knows what this looks like.
Well, now it's me who is hidden away from all the insanity. Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
I'm out of breath. How the hell did you do this for 24 hours?
Well, the good thing is you have 4 teammates in total, so you only need to do 6. But yes, even 2 hours straight is quite intense. But the better seats do help a lot.
Yeah. Well, it's great to be out with you again. Thanks for the opportunity, and
it's really, really impressive.
I think the great thing too is that it just lets see people that you can just do all sorts of things.
Absolutely. Amazing. Insane.
Okay.
Well, I'll see you later at Vulcan, so we can see if we can put some more
All right.
more stability.
A little bit more downforce.
Absolutely. Awesome. Looking
All right, well look, all the best for your venture this year.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks for the great content, really enjoyable.
Thank you. That was really impressive.
I'm gonna go and lie down.